There. All right, good evening, BBPN there. We've got ourselves a special little cast here. We didn't get time to get this in during the actual playoffs here, so this is going to be the interview here with the new legend in his own mind. The reign of the Hammer has started. Hammertime is in the studio here, up here also with the Commissioner Cadet, because the Commissioner has to give him all those fine prizes and free hookers he promised him. Anyway, Hammertime, welcome to the cast. It is good to see you. Has it sunk in yet?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's kind of crazy. It hasn't really sunk in. It feels good though to win the league. It's funny because like that last game against McMackey, I literally said to him, we're doing the obligatory good luck, have fun, and I just said, I'm ready for this season to be over because it wasn't the greatest regular season, but I won and went into the playoffs and just kind of the rest is history.
Yeah, we remember when we were talking about that, everyone was taking a look at your standing at the time going, he has to beat McMackey. It's a must-win game. He can't tie or he's eliminated. Must win. How do you think he's feeling about that? And we're both predicting it's balls to the walls day. He's got nothing to lose, but get knocked out. Wonder what he's going to come up with. And then you smashed him so hard. What did Cadet say? You hit him so hard he dropped out.
He said he messaged. I'm watching this game. I watched the second half of the game. You literally beat him so bad. He messaged me right after the game and goes, "I want to drop out." I was like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to play in the playoffs."
Well, I trimmed him by like 800 TV, so he was down to like 1,000 at the end of that game. He had so many players that were gone it would have been a rough first game in the playoffs had he stuck around.
And then after that, we're thinking, all right, he's made it, he's qualified. Now the fun really begins there. And immediately we're taking a look, who's he drawn first? And, well, Cadet's got his own story about that one. What did you tell us about that one, Cadet?
That game was something else. It just felt like a uphill battle the whole time. Well, it was a roller coaster for sure, just back and forth.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was multiple times where it was like, I'm winning this game, and then it would switch, and I'm for sure losing this game. I think we both made a few tactical errors throughout the game, and it was crazy. Crazy. One of the craziest games I've ever played. I've never actually gone to a kickoff at the end of a playoff game there, so that was first.
And then, of course, you got through that one. Everyone's going, all right. And then we see who you face in the first round. Cadet knows the whole story. You end up facing a team going, that's not who you're supposed to be facing, but you're facing them anyway. And as the cast shows, it looks like, all right, he's getting a handle here. He's figuring it out. And then suddenly the Crooksword moves into the worst position. And we are both thinking, you've got to have the biggest grin on your face when he moves the Crooksword back there going, you're dead.
Yeah, no, I was wondering what the hell he was thinking, because, yeah, even if he gets around that corner, that Crocs is going down no matter what, and I'm fouling the shit out of it, so it worked out. So,
because it seems to be in that game. Now, your impression, going along in there, you're just trying to, but now you can look back at it a bit there. Once you got the confirmed kill on the big piece of luggage, it seemed like after that your team was going, oh, we've got this. Like, did it feel like right at that moment it shifted? Or did you think it took a little further in the game till you went, all right, now we got under control there?
No, well, it was very soon after that, because he was doing a lot of unnecessary rolls. He was going for it all the time. In those first 2 tournaments, he did like 4 or 5 go for it's already. And then he moved the Crocs there, and I'm like, my eyes are getting big. I'm like, I'm gonna make sure that thing leaves the pitch. But then, even after that, then he tried to turn the corner and he failed the 2 GFIs and left the ball carrier exposed, and it was just basically, it was over at that point.
It seemed like he was, desperately grasping at straws, and it just wasn't going to happen there. And then, of course, then comes the game that everyone was looking forward to. And let's face it, most of the betting was strongly going, what else are going to fucking take it? Son of a bitch. So, how did it feel like going into that game, realizing, you had the number 2 there, and almost no one was picking you. Like, did you just figure, you know what? It's like, well, I'm sorry, most of the other buggies were picking you to win that one. I'm going, just watch. Look at the TV differential. Just watch. But how did it feel? Did it feel like the same situation like with McMackey? Like, I've got something to prove, or was your answer, oh, you know what? Screw him. I'm going to beat him and own it.
Well, I had to, with that one, I wasn't expecting to win, but I felt good about my chances. If I could get some early removals, and I won the toss, so I was able to hit first, got the tree down, and was able to start moving up the field. And, towards the end of that first half is when the casualties and the KOs just started piling up, and it just kind of steamrolled after that point. He was able to get the tying TD, but he had to, I forced him to score right away in the second half, and then it was just, the standard 2-1 grind after that. So it wasn't, he had so many players off the pitch, it was almost inevitable.
And then, of course, the big surprise, as everyone said, people thought it was the upset. I didn't, but you beat your way, and then there you are. You've got the finals, and immediately you see in the incentive room, before you've bought yours, he's gone and bought a wizard. Did that bring a grin to your face at that point? Going, well, that's a mistake.
Well, no, actually, that had me worried because, I had it. The TV difference was like 220, so I was getting a wizard for sure. And then I was probably going to, throw in 30K and get a bribe and then just go in like that. But he threw in the 150K, why not? It's the final. You can't carry your money over, so why not? He bought it, and that had me worried because obviously his game plan, because he won the kickoff and he chose to defend. Obviously his plan was to, get the defensive TD, turn me over with the wizard, and, I'm down 1-0 right away with him receiving the second half. So that's what had me worried. But it didn't really work out that way, did it?
Yeah. Have you had a chance to watch the cast? Have you heard the screams when?
Yeah, I did. I did watch the cast the next day, and it was just as satisfying the day later. I'll tell you that much.
All right, Cadet's chomping at the bit. Let him ask a question or two there, because as he said, that turn 0, his jaw just dropped, and he was just dancing in the booth. He was having a great time. Cadet, take it away for a bit.
So that turn 0 fireball, I agree. That was a good move. Anytime you get a 5L fireball, do it, right? It turned out so well for you. I instantly was like, hey, I need to change my opinion about how this game's going to go. But you did really well playing against his wizard. With that aside, at what point in the game did you know you were going to win it? Because it just got to a point where it was so evident that it was just really drawn out.
Yeah, that turn 0 fireball, it was only a 4L fireball, but still, there was no. It was too tempting. He had the 2 witches, the AG5 guy, his guard piece, and normally you would save your wizard for like a key situation, but it was just like, I said, fuck it. It's like, I'm balls to the wall. It's the finals. Let's just go for it. If this hits, and I can at least remove one person, one of those 4, high TV elves, totally pays for itself. And obviously, you get the 1 witch elf gone, the other one's KO'd, and then at that point I felt like, all right, it's happening. And I was trying to, play it safe along as I was pushing it up, and trying to get him to use his wizard at some point where I hopefully could recover. It almost went bad, You know,
Yeah.
he got the fireball, he got the 2 knockdowns, he got the ball down the field. I feel like he should have moved his AG5 guy first, because, you know, once he passed it, his AG5 guy was stuck, you know, at the line of scrimmage.
I was screaming that all cast long. The whole
Yeah.
time I was just like, why is he there?
Right. Like, he should have been moving. He should have got him out, either picked the ball up with him and pass it back, or, like, got him downfield and then passed downfield, you know. And if he would have done that, I couldn't have, there's probably not much I could have done. But he got the ball downfield, and all of a sudden that next turn is when, like, the floodgates open and, like, injuries just started piling on. And, you know, I went into the half, you know, he had 6 guys to stand up at half, or 4 or 7 guys, or whatever, and I felt pretty confident at that point once it was halftime, and I'm up, you know, 4 or 5 players at that point.
Yeah, I think our discussion was after that brilliance, and then, you know, he gets the football, and I agree with you. It was one of the things that was discussed was going, like, he should have moved the AG5 first. Instead he goes, go get the ball, and then throws it away. Now, if the AG5 is already down the field, you're having a hell of a time stopping him at that point. It's like, with everything that's gone bad, it's like good time. It's one mistake he makes, but it might have been the one mistake that might have clawed him. Pardon the pun, of course, clawed him right back into the game. As I'm watching your dwarf claw one of the Dark Elves as we speak.
Yeah, well, I feel like he probably was on tilt a little bit after that turn 1 fireball, Apothecary gone before he's...
A little on tilt, yes, said. A little on tilt. Fidel
Probably.
Almost blew an entire beer out his nose. He's so tilted when you did that. He was laughing so bloody hard. But yeah, it was definitely probably one of the best strategic decisions I've seen. But we've seen you, you know, as the playoffs went on, you know, he's made some pretty good strategic decisions. It's like, let's go back to that big important Final Four against Storm there. When the War Dancer goes in, KO's that ball handler god you've got of a Hobgoblin. You immediately go to the Apothecary. Like, was that like a calculated decision, or was like, no hesitation, this guy needs to keep playing?
No, it was no hesitation. Like, it was towards the end of the first half. He has to be on the field. You know, there's outside of the tree, there's no mighty blow. I'm not worried about an injury at this point. He's, you know, the best player, and he's the only one that can carry the ball against the strip ball War Dancers. And then, you know, the other thing is, you know, he got into the cage, uphill 2D block, pow pow. You know, I'm fucking like, fuck this is bullshit. Luckily, I know, seriously, that happened to me, that actually happened to me in the regular season too against Ashoka. Like, I was marching down the field, like turn 15, ready to tie the game, and he jumps into the cage, uphill 2D block, pow pow, balls out. I end up losing that game, and that's kind of how my regular season went. I had a bunch of games that I tied that I probably could have won if like 1 or 2 things go my way, but Nuffle smiled on me at the last game of the season, and it just was a good run at the end there.
So, Cadet, what do you think was, you know, the biggest turning point he made during that entire playoffs? Like, let's not only look at the final game, we've got that pre-dissected, but what do you think was the biggest turning point he made in those 3 games leading to the great and ultimate reign?
When the football went through the field goal. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, man, that's a really good question, but man. I feel like it's between the first game and the last game. The other 2 in between.
Well, okay, maybe it's an uncomfortable question for Cadet, you know, a little bit there, but let's see Hammertime's take on it. Like, you saw Cadet's got the football, it's an easy score, nothing that can stop him, and then you realize what he does. What was your reaction at that point? Because that was your season right there.
Yeah, no, that game was crazy. But yeah, when he failed, he failed the GFI, which he didn't have to make, obviously. And
see? Even your opponent knows that.
So painful because I forgot that he was movement 8.
Right.
I forgot he
So-
was movement 8 and not movement 7.
I was just like, as soon as my Bull Centaur failed his dodge to score the TD, because you were able to mark him with 2 guys, so I couldn't just blitz one guy off and like run in for the TD. As soon as that failed, I was like, oh shit, this game is over. And I didn't realize at the time, because I didn't realize this till I listened to the cast like a day or 2 later after it went up, that because I'd never played in a playoff game where it actually went to the kickoff, so I didn't know that you could use a reroll for the playoff kickoff. And so I heard you guys screaming on the cast, like, why are you using a reroll for, like, because I was trying to pass to the Bull Centaur after you failed the GFI, and I was like, oh, well, that's good to know. So
Yeah, it's
that's why I used a reroll, because I actually did not know that you could use those for the kickoffs. So.
Oh, right. That's okay. That answers my big question, because I was here looking at that going, why? Why? But that's the problem. Not everyone's used to going overtimes, and they don't know how that mechanic actually works. Yeah, it's like every reroll adds +1, Or it gives you... they've changed it a little bit. It used to be it was all of them combined are +1, meaning if you had like 3 rerolls, only on a 1 do you miss, is how it's supposed to work. However,
Gotcha.
Now they've made it, it's each reroll is +1, +1, +1, until you run out of rerolls.
But
Of course,
it's only for the first kick.
Yeah, but of course Cadet, goes and, rolls a 1, and, well, that solves your problem, doesn't it, So that was Cadet's story, unfortunately. And meanwhile, like, now I hear from Cadet going, I forgot he moves that fast! You've had this player all bloody season. How do you forget? Well, you see, this is where I'll stand up and say, it's the playoffs. The stress has got to get to you after a while. Believe me, it gets to you.
Movement 8 for that game.
Well, yeah, that was a crazy game.
How many people have movement 8 goats?
Right.
Well, it's not from lack of trying. Remember, we've all discussed about those, movement 10 war dancers and stuff like that. But, don't worry, I hear there's going to be some unusually bad things happening to him in the off season. All right, Cadet. So now you're in charge. You've got it. You've won. What are your plans for the next season? Like, you can't take chores. That's right out apparently. But
No. I got to do something else. I've been thinking about it, and I'm actually thinking of taking up the mantle of my fallen opponent in the final. I'm thinking I might go Dark Elves next season. So.
Oh yeah, fine teams. Just try to afford all those positionals.
Oh, that was the other thing in the final. I couldn't believe how many times did he try to stab my AV9 guys. It was crazy.
Wow. Yeah, how about that?
I think, because it's like, what are you doing? There was multiple times where he could have just blitzed a Hob, but I'm assuming he just wanted a blitz with another player. That's the only thing I can think of. So
You had the Achilles heel for your goblins, but never used it.
Well, apparently he was still a little, embarrassed about the fact that he didn't put, Sunblock 9000 on his Witch Elves, so that didn't pay off. So maybe that Fireball did the most beautiful thing ever, and it just, tilted him up for the rest of the game. Though he never quit,
Right.
and I'll give him credit for that. He never quit. Right till maybe turn 15, then I think he finally realised it wasn't happening.
Yep. So.
But a hell of a season. Like, you review it. Like, let's take a look at your team. You were the TV down on almost every game. In fact, right starting from McMackey, if you want to count from there, you were usually a 300 or more disadvantage every game. How does that happen with Chorfs? You're not supposed to be that down every time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it wasn't the greatest regular season. I didn't, I had a bunch of Chorfs die. I had probably like 3 Chorf deaths, so I was constantly replacing Chorfs, and I wasn't able to get, all the skills I needed. And that's, right when the playoffs started, was like that last game of the season, I got enough SPPs on one of my Claw Dwarfs in order to get Mighty Blow. So going into that first playoff game was the first time all season I had Claw Mighty Blow. And then Cadet killed my other Claw guy, but...
Of course he did. That's what he does.
He does, but...
I'm a terrible person.
He is, but I had another Chorf level in that game, and of course he rolled doubles, and also now I had 2 Claw Mighty Blow guys the rest of the playoffs, and it was, and being down that much TV in every game actually wasn't that big of a detriment because of all the, with the inducements I was able to buy, bribes and wizards, that leveled the playing field. And plus, three of the games were against, one dodge stunty and then the other two elves, obviously. And so with the amount of tackle that I have, that made a big difference.
Yeah, so much so we all noticed you kept the crippled guy, and he did great. I'm glad he got that last, run. Yay, the cripple scores. Yay, he can retire in peace. All right.
Yeah, there's no way he's fired. He's guard mighty blow. He's, you just stick him in the middle and just let him stand up every turn,
Yeah, that's exactly it. You don't want to get rid of a fine quality dwarf like that, especially considering all the rest of yours are dying at that point. He's a survivor, but he well earned it. Oh, all right, Cadet, you got an extra question or two to ask him there? You think he's summed it up, and has he named his reign now yet?
He's BBPN champion now. He finally replaced that other guy. Who's the other guy? I don't even remember. Did he even make the playoffs this season?
No, he choked and faltered by not knowing how to play a Nurgle team. Credit to him for trying, but just how many things he did wrong and then compiled. He didn't even get out of the Hooligan division. He lost to Goblins. I was rather proud of Akira.
I give him credit. He won a season with the Tier 1 team, and then he came back with the Tier 2 team. I give him props for that.
All right, yeah, so now the challenge is, we got to see now if Hammertime can defend the title. Coming with Dark Elves next season.
Oh, well, that's not 100% on the Dark Elves, and now you're making me question it, because the precedent has been set that you're supposed to go to a lower tier team, so maybe... It
is tradition. You don't have to follow it. Other people haven't, but...
Well, I haven't decided specifically yet, but maybe I'll take that under advisement before I pick my team.
Well, don't worry, we'll highly endorse that. Anyway, it's been a pleasure having you there, and it was a pleasure broadcasting it. It was... how would I say it? It was a real thrill in the lower cockles seeing a coach develop as it went on and on. I think, honestly, you really became a much better coach making certain surgical decisions as the games went on. And this is coming from an old NAF coach whose numbers only have 1-1-3 in it.
I just enjoyed seeing a new guy come in here and just go straight to the top.
Good, should we keep them then?
I hope so.
Oh, I definitely hope so. Anyway, but thank you for being with us, Hammertime, and thanking you for thrilling us, delighting us, titillating us. You can feel all the nipples from here. You entertained, absolutely. Even on your bad games to your good games, you were a pleasure to cast. Because, like I said, you can see the evolution of just how bloody good you really were as things went, and just how much better you evolved in this league. It's a true statement from a lad. You got really good near the end.
Thanks. I think some of the good dice helped at the end there too. So
a little bit of full help always helps out.
A little bit of luck is always necessary in this game. So
and a certain coach forgetting what his player can do in a critical game. Yes, that does help. I'm sorry, Cadet. I will never forgive you for that one. You had him. This could all be your interview.
No, to be fair, I didn't have the team to win the tournament, so it's much better that he won.
See,
well,
and that's
even if Cadet had won, I had pretty much crippled his team too. And you could say that about basically every team I faced in these playoffs. As soon as I was done with them, even if they had beat me, they were going to be in rough shape in the next game. Because I killed Cadet's, Mighty Blow claw piece, and he had a few other guys out too. So
this is Blood Bowl. You can always sew it back on, can't you? Ask Ripper. They ripped his head off. They sewed a new one on. He got better. Really, that's the story about it.
I have to say one thing. I am, after watching that championship game, you're now the foul master. It used to be Dr. Helix. Used to be the guy you'd be like, oh, he's going foul all game. Now it's on you, sir.
Well, I did have 2 bribes, and, going into that game, being down that much TV with him having a wizard, my plan was to, strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Just foul them, get as many elves off the pitch, and just grind them into the turf.
I can't blame you. It worked beautifully. Just beautifully.
Well, it was a clinic, all right. It was definitely a clinic in there. Good time. He might be a good rhyme, but oh yeah, he's going to remember you next year. That is the grudge match we're looking forward to next season. So we're going to see you. We're going to see you in the little Haveling cup we're going to have sometime later on. Come on, bring some Havelings, have some fun. See how the other side lives.
I saw that posted today, and I probably will join that. So, got to do something now that the season's on hiatus, right?
Oh, don't worry, they'll start up soon enough. This bunch. All right, it looks like it's been an excellent time there. So again, thank you for joining us. It's glad to hear that. Yeah, I think the championship's in good hands. What do you think, Cadet?
Absolutely. I look for him to really do well next season too. Even make it back to the championship again.
All right, hopefully we see him there. All right, any last words you have for all your cheering fans and spectators you have out there, Hammer?
Oh, nah. I don't know. Well, thanks for having me. That was great. This is a great league. I really enjoy. All the coaches are good coaches. Everyone's good sports. The casts are fantastic. You guys do a great job. So, thanks for having me.
Well, it's definitely a pleasure. And just remember, ask Cord for the keys to the brothel. Apparently, you've won those, so you have to ask him about those. He's loath to give up the keys. Anyway, last words, Cadet.
No, that's it. I'll see you guys next season.
All right, thank you all for having us here. This has been the BBPM, our special championship interview broadcast with the legend himself, Hammertime. The reign of the hammer has indeed begun, and we can get rid of that, cartel thing in there. All right, Nuffle, bless your dice.